What's up, guys? As you've probably figured out by now, Ancient is going to replace Train in the competitive map pool eventually. As of the recording of this video, the only thing that I've seen where Ancient will be played is an Elisa Invitational on June 3rd. So I'll say this again later, but until we actually have pro games on this map, I'm not gonna claim that anything I say is correct or good. These are just ideas. I'm just kind of throwing them out there because that's what I do on this channel, I guess. So overall, I think this map kind of plays out very similarly to Vertigo. It's a relatively small map with relatively empty bomb sites. If we take a look at the B bomb site, for example, there's not a lot going on here except for the pillar and the cubby there. And if we look at the A bomb site, there's literally 3 sets of boxes, and the plant site is this thing outlined in green. Is this green? Close enough. So I'm getting a lot of Vertigo vibes, and then add on to the fact that there's a lot of CT aggression that can happen on this map. Again, kind of like Vertigo, where you get control of A ramp on Vertigo, or on B you get control of the B stairs. Here you can actually play pretty aggressively on literally every part of the map, and it's kind of scary. Despite all of this, though, you don't get much reward for aggroing these parts of the maps, or at least some of them, and I'll explain those later. But the biggest issue I have right now with the map is the high prevalence of 50-50 angles. What I mean is there's a lot of places that you'll walk into and you have to guess on which way you clear, the left side or the right side. So let's say, for example, you're coming into the house here, top mid house. Again, callouts can change over time. I'm going off of what I've heard in a few VODs. Flom. So if you come into the house here, you have to check this angle and this angle, right? And you can't really do anything about it aside from molly one side, and then look at the other, right? That's kind of an issue. There's another 50-50 right here, right? This corner, that corner. To a weird extent, you could call this a 50-50, right? The cubby and this angle there. In this tomb area here, right? With the thing. You have to clear this angle where I'm standing and that angle there as you come in, right? And there's just so many 50-50 angles. These need to be cleaned up somehow. And they exist in a lot of parts of the map, so really want these to get cleaned up or changed somehow, some way. Maybe make one side offset on a diagonal, so you can kind of come here, clear this, and then come here and clear that. That's my biggest gripe with the map, but overall it might not actually be a terrible map. The layout is fine. The bomb sites are a little sparse, but again, this is early into its release, so we're gonna have to see how pros figure this map out. What I figured out, though, is, like I mentioned before, it's a lot like Vertigo in the sense that you can get a lot of early CT aggression, and I'll show those off right now. So for starters, we'll work towards B. MOTM, Modem, I saw this on his channel. You can smoke the B doors, coming into here, right? Making that flat. And under this gap right here, you kind of aim down until you hit the bricks, roughly there-ish. And then just run a little bit and jump throw. And that's gonna land in the B doors really quickly. So you could come here and one person can throw the smoke. You could, for example, throw a molly right there. And this is just the easiest B ramp control you can do. There's another molly you can do if you kind of aim around here-ish at the bottom of this little thing and just toss a molly over. You can actually molly here, and as far as I have tested, this molly will land just as the T's get here, give or take. So actually it might be a little earlier than that. I could be wrong, but at any rate, if you can throw this consistently, which I clearly cannot, this might actually be a decent molly to do. And if whoever throws this kind of just also throws a smoke on top of it, you can have some other people push the tomb and kind of get control right here. and like fight for this. You can have them like smoke this off. Whoops, not like that. You can have them smoke this off. Sorry. Right. Assume the smoke is good, and you can creep into mid and like try to get something here, maybe, perhaps, like get a teammate that's like deep in the house, for example. Just lob a flash way down there, and you can peek with it, perhaps, right? So this early control could be pretty good. Again, I don't know if it actually works in real play, but I'll have to wait. Moving on to mid as a CT, again, you can be really aggressive. Just early molly over the wall here and a flash. And you can contest a lot of people trying to come out really early or really fast. And the great thing about this flash is that as people try to run in here, it's going to pop in their face if they try to like aggressively push you. If they hold the angle, like something passive like this, they might dodge it. Or even something like this, it's pretty easy to dodge. Like, you should be able to notice it. So it's not like the greatest flash in the world, but it's still good enough to kind of just prevent people from being too aggressive here. And then once the molly fades, you can kind of just like... Alright. You can throw a smoke there. You want it a little deeper, so this isn't like a vague angle that could possibly happen. And you can have one person come out of this area here, which I'll vaguely call the shrine. Hold this. You get here way before the T's can peek you. You can even throw a smoke, just like something like that. Just to deny T's from being able to come out here from B halls to support. We move on to the A side of things, actually, before I continue with my next point. On the A side of things, as far as I'm aware, again, haven't tested, you can get the smoke off really, really quickly. If you just have a second person throw something like a molly here, you basically lock them out of the A main, A tunnels area. Which could be really good if you just like play off angles like this and like maybe like a bait and switch here. Or if you play like something like this, where you have a guy hiding here and another bait right here. Or like a one and done here. Right, do I have cast ray? Cast ray. Boom. Right? One person's holding that angle. And the other person, once he hears shooting, you can peek out. And they're going to be like on this line right here, so could be useful. The problem with all of these aggro CT setups is that it's hard to like actually hold. It's kind of hard to hold. Right? You have to play like weird 50-50s where you're just like super committed. You can't really like hold it because you're getting it cleared, right? Very easy to just toss a molly here. Clear that. Very easy for T's to just throw one molly, clear one side, and then push the other, right? You could be like way over here, pretty safe. Clear this out. Throw a flash. Throw a flash. Right? Like, it's not too hard to just like push them back off. In mid is probably the most egregious example, because like if you aggro all this as a CT, which by the way you can also run boost, get a bot, you can actually like get a run boost going, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Thank you, bot. You can actually get a run boost going onto the ledge here for another mid aggression, which I forgot to mention earlier. But again, it's like even if you get all this control, like where do you play? Cubby, very easily mollied out. Under these boxes, no, just straight up no. There's no place to play close here. It's like nothing, no spot. So it's like you could mid aggro, but then where do you play? Like what do you do? So yeah, as much as there is a lot of CT aggression possibilities, I find it very hard to actually hold. You probably have to just like fall back and make the T's burn more util and make them scared of like random spots, like the cubby or you know, some random spot like this or here. Make them scared, make them burn util to claim it back. And then you just kind of like play back on the bomb sites as a CT in the mid to late round. Now, as for what that actual util is for the T's, we'll start on the B side again for consistency. Something you could do is just toss a molly right there to prevent any B ramp pushes. You could probably also use a smoke if you want to like hold it. Right? If you throw a smoke here, you can actually creep up into this corner and at least maintain some semblance of control here. Not too sure about this area, kind of hard to mess around with. You can also throw flashes over here. Okay, well, maybe not like that. Maybe off the wood here. Just to like pressure CTs from, or dissuading them from trying to play up close here. It's an idea. As for A, I kind of mentioned earlier, you just throw like a molly either there or here. And you can clear most of the A main tunnels out. As for mid, you can throw a top mid smoke, roughly in the middle of this thing here, and then this dot. As for a molly, you can like leave a gap for your crosshair right here, aim at the bottom wood post, run a bit, and throw. Okay, maybe more of a gap because this game sucks. Right, something like this. Pretty good. So those are ways to just like come back to re-aggress as a T. As for the actual executes, Banana Gaming had a video when they first introduced Ancient in the operation, and I highly recommend looking at his video because it's probably a lot better than the random ass smokes that I found. I'll link it in the description. I don't remember those lineups offhand because I forgot to do that. But basically what you're going to do is smoke this lane here and smoke this lane here, preferably like this, to cut the angle off like that. You could maybe even smoke Tomb, right? If you like aren't going through that way and just have like 3 smokes. You can also molly the wood here if you just, I believe you stand here, just aim where these 2 buildings intersect, and that'll be more than fine. And there's your really simple B execute. I don't know an A execute offhand because anything I've tried just doesn't work, even through this random skylight here. This doesn't really work. I couldn't find anything from outside here either. It just doesn't bounce the right way. But again, maybe pro teams will find something that I can't, right? The only things I've noticed is you can like do this. Random stuff like this, which I don't think is particularly amazing. But again, we'll see. Also because there's a boost angle here. Yeah, so to TLDR this, feels like Vertigo with the size, and the CT aggression early with T's reclaiming map control later into the round. Biggest issue are 50-50 angles that are present all over the map. Needs to be fixed, or really should be fixed. Problem with the CT aggression is that it's hard to hold. There's not really a lot of good spots unless you just like leave one person here for info. But even then, is it really worth it if you still have util? Maybe, maybe not. Don't know. Have to wait until pros play the map because I am historically wrong on what I think the map will play out as. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked the video.